Hello everyone. My name is Anjana. I am a special educator and a remedial instructor and the founder of Saksham for the specially abled in Bangalore. So recently I was asked a question that why is it that some children feel so overwhelmed in classrooms? And what is it that can be done to support them? And I thought that making a video on this might be a little helpful for all the teachers and parents out there. So, there are a lot of reasons that a child can feel overwhelmed. The bottom line is, why is it that you think the child, what is it being overwhelmed? It means that our brain is trying to manage things that it is not able to. That means that there is so much demand from the kid, but the capacity of the child is not as per the demand. Now, there are a couple of reasons or there are a couple of situations wherein the child might be overwhelmed. So, one of them is definitely when a child has too much of sensory input. Now, many children with autism, with ADHD, and also children who have sensory sensitivity, for them, sitting in a classroom is a constant overload. The amount of noise that the class has, the constant chattering of the children, the clapping, the laughing, the calling out names, the moving of the furniture, so much of visuals around, the teachers talking, teachers coming out, coming in, constant movement. Sometimes it is also a tactile because there are constantly people, kids touching, pushing. All these things is a constant overload for many of our children. And in that situation, the child tends to shut down or shows behavior. What type of behavior? That we will see later. Now, sometimes children who have a weak executive functioning also find a classroom setting overwhelming. Now, what is executive functioning? That is the brain's management skill. So, for example, organizing the thoughts, following instructions, holding on to that instruction for that particular task, shifting the attention, prioritizing the work that has to be done now. All of this is a challenge. And when that happens, the child again finds the whole classroom situation overwhelming. Sometimes a child finds language processing a concern. So for children, so much of verbal instruction coming in and they focusing on every word, trying to connect the dots and understanding what is expected of them also overwhelms them. It can be quite strange, but it is very true. So by the time the child has understood the step 1, oh, this is what I have to do, the class has already moved to step 3. And that creates a stress, oh, I have to do this. And that gap creates stress, and that stress creates anxiety. And then we either see a behavior or a shutdown. Sometimes the child also walks into a class with a fear of failure. Now, this is most of the times hidden. Now, when does that come in? When the child has experienced struggle or the child has a repeated difficulty in certain things or has faced a constant comparison or a judgment or correction, the child is coming into the class with a certain tension in the body, and that also creates overwhelm. Now, another thing that creates overwhelm is also the lack of predictability for the children. Sometimes certain things take a little longer, a certain task is a little longer. The child doesn't know what to do, the child doesn't know how much time will it take, the child doesn't know where to start, how to go about with it, and everybody else just knows it all already, but the child doesn't know. And that also creates a lot of overwhelm. Now, with all of this overwhelm happening, how does the child show it? The child might keep moving in the class, might keep getting up, might talk to somebody, will keep nudging, will keep fidgeting, will probably make some sounds, and sometimes they will take a pen, they will take a pencil, and they will just start coloring, they will just start, just not paying attention to what's happening in the session. Now, this does not mean that the child is lazy, that the child is rude, that the child is misbehaving. That is the child's way of coping up at that particular moment. Now, as a teacher or as being there at that point of time, what is it that we can do to help the child is something that I will tell you in the next video. So stay tuned and keep watching our videos. Thank you.